Good evening, everyone. Welcome along. It is the third Ultimate Quiz as part of the 5-year Jay's Quiz anniversary celebrations. Thank you very much for joining me for another one this week tonight. Dun, 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 dun. Well, you already know, to be fair, it's on the social media post. Tonight, focusing then on sport and leisure, all sorts of questions in here. And someone did make a very good point, actually, when I announced the Ultimate Quizzes and said, have you made sure to date check a lot of your questions? Because over the 5 years, because all of these, if you haven't done one of the Ultimate Quizzes so far, these are all questions from the last 5 years. And it's a very good point. I hadn't thought about that because I do ask a lot of sort of date specific questions as well at various times. I've done some current affairs-y kind of questions and what have you. But yeah, so no, I have gone back through and just made sure, although I don't think there are any that are relevant tonight. Unless I've time traveled back to the sort of 80s. But anyway, let's get into your ultimate quiz for tonight. Who is the king or queen of sport and leisure? We're about to find out. Let's go. So, welcome along, everyone. It is your sport and leisure ultimate quiz. 50 questions, just like the previous couple of nights. Let's see. So for the first round, or your first two rounds, is all about sport, and then I'll move into games and then some general knowledge around sport and leisure. But your first 20 questions then are all sport. Here we go. Question number one. Andrew Freddie Flintoff was famous in which sport? Just in case you're wondering where my camera is, if you've not played the last couple, my camera is off for these just because I'm still coughing and spluttering like mad. And it is not a pretty sight that you want to see on screen, I'll be honest. Question number two. How many players on a standard volleyball team? Question number three. In which year was Maradona's Hand of God? Sorry if this brings back PTSD for any football fans of, especially of England matches. Number four. What does scuba in diving stand for? And yes, to get the point, you need all five of the words. It's a sport and leisure ultimate quiz, and it would be remiss for me to go, yeah, if you get one wrong, it's fine. Nope, you need all five. Question number five. What is considered the national sport of Japan? There's a lot of background noise as well today because I've got my window open because it is a very warm day that I am recording these. Number six. Where in the UK does one of the Grand Slam tournaments in tennis take place? So where in the UK does one of the Grand Slam tournaments in tennis take place? Number seven. In boxing, what does the T stand for in TKO? Train. Number eight. Biathlon combines rifle shooting and cross-country what? Number nine, start again. Sir Steve Redgrave won the first of his 5 Olympic gold medals at which Olympics? Was it Sydney 2000, Barcelona 1992, or Los Angeles 1984? This is what I meant at the beginning about sort of time travel questions. And number 10, which of these is not a women's heptathlon event? Is it long jump, triple jump, or high jump? So which of these is not a women's heptathlon event? Long jump, triple jump, or high jump? So continuing with sport then for round two. The reason I've done part ones and part twos is because I did want to have, so another train goes loudly rumbling by. I did want to have still your 5 rounds, etc. But here we go. Number one. How many players are allowed in the water on a water polo team? So how many players are allowed in the water on a water polo team? Number two. How many outs before the batting team changes in baseball? Number 3, which sport is played on a surface 9 foot by 5 foot? Number 4, how many hours does the Le Mans 24 take place over? How many hours does the Le Mans 24 take place over? Number 5, in yards, what is the distance between the penalty spot and the goal line in football? Probably should have added that in. But in yards, what is the distance between the penalty spot and the goal line in football? Or soccer for our American friends. Number 6, in Formula One, what colour flag indicates that a faster car is approaching from behind? This is during a race as well, for a car that's going to be lapped. I've just thought, because there is another colour flag that also indicates that there's a slow... No, I am right. Yeah. In Formula One, what colour flag indicates that a faster car is approaching from behind? New Formula One season starts this weekend. I cannot wait. Even if it is Australia and having to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning for the race on Sunday, I will be up for it. Question number 7. What number is opposite number 20 on a dartboard? So what number is opposite number 20 on a dartboard? Number 8, which game would you use a mallet to knock plastic balls through hoops? And number 9, which sport involves a swimming, cycling, and running in one race? Which sport involves swimming, cycling, and running in one race? Kind of doing my own version of this at the minute. I've just realised I can't swim, so I'm sort of replacing the swimming with rowing. But every day I'm in training, trying to get fit again. I do some time on the treadmill, time on my bike, and time on the rowing machine. And number 10, how many players in a scrum for each side in rugby union? So how many players in a scrum for each side in rugby union? Your final round before we take a break. This is all about games from the sport and leisure categories. Starting with this, number 1, which featuring black question cards and white answer cards. What game is described at bringing out the worst in people? So featuring black question cards and white answer cards, what game is described at bringing out the worst in people? Number 2, in which board game would you find Miss Scarlet and Professor Plum? And number 3, which board game has a cheetah and an ultimate banking edition? Street sweepers just arrived outside at the wrong moment. I really probably should shut my window, but it's too warm in here today. And I need to keep fresh air, so stop me coughing. Number 4, in which game do players race around the board to get their 4 tokens from start to finish? In which game do players race around the board to get their 4 tokens from start to finish? 2 possible answers for this. Number 5, how many dominoes are there in a double 6 set? Number 6, tic-tac-toe is known by which other name? Number 7, how many characters on one board of a game of Guess Who? There's a well-worn strategy that if you know it, that will help you win Guess Who every time. Number 8, which board game even is 15 by 15 squares and has a star in the middle? I did say this on the previous 2. If there are mistakes, grammatical errors or spelling mistakes, I'm not, this is how they appeared when they appeared on the quiz. So they will stay like that. Unless it was really bad and I noticed. Number 9, please. Number 9, there we go. Which board game do you call out coordinates in the hope of getting a hit and avoiding a miss? And your final one, number 10, the card game Patience is otherwise known by which name? Oh, again, there's 2 possible answers for this, and I think I've only put 1 into the quiz, but there is 2 possible answers. There you go. That's your first 30 questions from the ultimate quiz, sport and leisure. There'll be another 20 questions, general knowledge, random ones coming up after the answers to those first 30. Now, normally, if you're joining me for the first time tonight for the ultimate quiz, you'll know from Thursday and Saturdays, normally I'll say head on over to the website and have a recap. But unfortunately, the website's not in operation for the ultimate quizzes, just because it would absolutely bombard and clutter everything up. And the Thursday and Saturdays might then get lost. However, because it's on a premiere, it means that you can rewind, you can go back. There's a 7-minute break coming up. So you've got plenty of time that if you want to skip back to where you were, and then all you need to do is then push the live button. I think it's about here on the YouTube screen, and that will bring you back to real time. Especially if you're playing against other people or what have you. So yeah, you can easily skip back and go and find any of those questions that you might have missed. I then shall return in 7 minutes after this, and I'll give you the answers. My brain completely froze then, and I'll be back with the answers then after this 7-minute break. Welcome back. Thank you very much for coming back. I've got 30 answers then for you coming up in just a moment's time to see how you are doing so far with sport and leisure this evening. It's not everybody's cup of tea, but I know it's another one of those rounds that a lot of people really do enjoy. And you probably noticed that I'm going through some of the more niche rounds to start with, but as I get closer and closer to the 5-year anniversary on the 26th of March, you'll suddenly see some of those categories that appear more often than not on Jay's quiz, including the very, very special quiz that is going to cause so much chaos. It is unbelievable. And that is in the week of the anniversary. My word, I am turning my social media notifications off when that quiz goes out because that is going to cause so many people to be happy and so many people to be very, very annoyed. And you know what? I know some of those people who are going to be very annoyed with that whole quiz dedicated to this one subject. They are still going to play. I know there's going to be a lot of people who still give it a go just to try and prove a point. But anyway, and as with the current format, everything that is in that quiz will have been on the quiz at some point. They will have appeared at some point. I'm not going to throw in some new ones or anything like that. They will have been on the quiz at some point over the last 5 years. Anyway, returning our attention, that's all to come over the next couple of weeks, but turning our attention back to this evening, let's see how you did then with the first 30 questions tonight. Sport part 1, here we go. Number 1, Andrew Freddie Flintoff was famous in cricket. Number 2, how many players on a standard volleyball team? There are 6. I played volleyball in high school. I really enjoyed it. Number 3, in which year was Maradona's Hand of God? 1986. Number 4, what does scuba in diving stand for? Now, this is an ultimate quiz, so to get the point, you need all of these. Self-contained underwater breathing apparatus or apparatus. Apparatus? Apparatus. Apparatus. Yeah, that word. Self-contained underwater breathing apparatus. Apparatus. That's going to annoy me. Number 5, what is considered the national sport of Japan? It is sumo wrestling. Number 6, where in the UK does one of the Grand Slam tournaments in tennis take place? It is Wimbledon. Number 7, in boxing, what does the T stand for in TKO? It is technical. Number 8, biathlon combines rifle shooting and cross-country skiing. Number 9, Steve Redgrave won the first of his 5 Olympic gold medals at which Olympics? It was Los Angeles, 1984. Number 10, which of these is not a women's heptathlon event? It is triple jump. Yep, long jump and high jump are included, but triple jump is not one of them. Sport part 2, number 1, how many players are allowed in the water on a water polo team? It is 7. Unless you're playing in a random pool in Tenerife, where it is basically a free-for-all. I remember a few years ago playing, and it was just however many people wanted to play. Number 2, how many outs before the batting team changes in baseball? It is 3. Number 3, which sport is played on a surface 9 foot by 5 foot? It is table tennis. I can't. I'm better with hand-eye coordination now, but yeah, years gone by, I couldn't play table tennis because no hand-eye coordination. Number 4, how many hours does Le Mans 24 take place over? It is 24 hours. It's the Le Mans 24. Number 5, in yards, what is the distance between the penalty spot and the goal line? It is 12 yards. Number 6, blue is the colour flag that indicates that a faster car is approaching from behind. Yeah, if you're in Formula 1, it's a flag you don't really want to see because it also means you're about to get lapped. Number 7, the number 3 is opposite number 20 on a dartboard. Number 8, which game would use a mallet to knock plastic balls through hoops? It is croquet. Question number 9. Which sport involves the swimming, cycling, and running all in one race? It is triathlon. And number 10. How many players in a scrum for each side in rugby union? There are 8 per team. Your games round, number 1, featuring black questions and white answer cards. What game is described at bringing out the worst in people? It is Cards Against Humanity. Number 2, in which board game would you find Miss Scarlet and Professor Plum? It is Cluedo. Number 3, which board game has a cheetah and an ultimate banking edition appearing for the, I think it's the first time appearing in the ultimate quiz categories. It is Monopoly. Will it or won't it make another appearance throughout the ultimate quizzes? We'll see. Number 4, in which game do players race around the board to get their 4 tokens from start to finish? It is Ludo or Frustration, depending on your era, I think, really. Number 5, how many dominoes are there in a double 6 set? There are 28. Number 6, tic-tac-toe is known by the name noughts and crosses. Number 7, how many characters on one board game of a how many characters on one board of a game of Guess Who? There are 24. Number 8, which board game is 15 by 15 squares and has a star in the middle? It is Scrabble. Number 9, which board game do you call out coordinates in the hope of getting a hit and avoiding a miss? It is Battleships. And finally, question 10, the card game Patience is known by which other name? It is Solitaire. Or Klondike. Sorry, yeah, that my brain froze then completely. Yeah, Solitaire or Klondike. It is also known as Klondike as well. Right, that is your first 30 questions. Then 2 rounds of general knowledge, sport and leisure, things that didn't sort of really fall into a category or extra questions that I had when I pushed the button of randomization to give me the 50 questions for you for this quiz. So still to come. I'm just going to give you a moment or two. I think that's enough moments or two. Right then, general knowledge then of sport and leisure for you. Starting with this for number 1. Which teams line up against each other in a 2-3-5 formation? Number 2, hitting the center of a dartboard with 3 darts will see you score how many points? Number 3, the boat race takes place between which 2 universities? Again, same as a similar question in the first part of the quiz. You need both of these for the points. No half points. I don't like half points. I gave away a half point on Radio 2 once and I got lynched for it. So no half points. Both of the names for the answer. Number 4, which mobile game app started its life as a game on Facebook and is thought to be the most played game of all time? Number 5, what is the highest total score you can achieve in a game of bowling? Number 6, how many suits are there in a game of Mahjong? Number 7, what colour is the 8 ball in a game of pool? By the time you watch this, I will know if the team that I am captain for on a Monday night is champions or finishing second. Number 8. In which sport might you encounter a pommel horse? Number 9. What is the best hand in a game of poker? And number 10. How many checkers does each player start a game of backgammon with? And your final 10, then another 10 general knowledge questions. Number 1. In which game did Super Mario make his first appearance? It's a me, Mario. Number 2. Clickety click represents which number in bingo calling? Number 3, one of the longest running regattas, Cows Week, takes place around which island? So one of the longest running regattas, Cows Week, takes place around which island? Appears to be a lot of trains running today. Number 4, what appeared in the Times newspaper in 1930, which still appears in the paper today? Number 5, the art or love of toxophily is related to which sport pastime? Number 6, which sport has a playing area of 60 foot long and just 41.5 inches wide? The one day I'm pre-recording stuff and I have to have my window open because it's so warm because the temperature's risen. Every man and his dog is coming past me. I don't know how well my microphone might be picking stuff up, but anyway. Number 7, Ascot, Epsom and Aintree are synonymous with which sport? Number 8, if you had the penny black in your collection, what would you be collecting? Number 9, Greco-Roman and freestyle are types of what sport? And finally, question number 10. When it opened in 1994, the Pepsi Max Big One was the tallest and steepest what in the world? In the world. So there you have it then, ladies and gents. That is all of your questions then for this sport and leisure ultimate quiz. I'll be back then in 7 minutes time with the answers. So same as before, skip back if you want to just check over any of those questions. And then when you're ready to go, push the live button, which I say is about, I'm sure it's about here. It's at the end of the timeline. So you get like, let's put a thing there. So you get a timeline that runs all the way along the bottom. So if you want to skip back, you go back to there, and then somewhere around about here, if you push that, it's like a live and it will bring you back to real time. So yeah, so that is what you need to do if you want to go back and recap the questions. If not, sit back and enjoy the next 7 minutes of funky music, and I'll be back after that with the answers. Okay, welcome back. Thank you very much for finding your place back on the timeline. Let's go through then those final 20 answers to see how you did with them. Let me just make sure I'm on the right thing. There we go. So round 4 then, round 4 and 5, all general knowledge-y questions for you on sport and leisure. Let's see how you did. Number 1. Which teams line up against each other in a 2-3-5 formation? It is table football. Number 2, hitting the center of a dartboard with 3 darts will score you 150. Doesn't have quite the same ring to it as 180. Number 3, the boat race takes place between Oxford and Cambridge. Number 4, which mobile game app started its life as a game on Facebook and is thought to be the most played game of all time? It's Candy Crush. Number 5, what is the highest total score you can achieve in a game of bowling? It is 300. I can always get into the hundreds and, you know, top end of the hundreds, 150, 160. I can never sort of get anywhere close to 300. Number 6, how many suits are there in a game of Mahjong? There are only 3. Number 7, what colour is the 8th ball in a game of pool? It is black. Number 8, in which sport might you encounter a pommel horse? It is gymnastics. Number 9, what is the best hand in a game of poker? It is the royal flush. And number 10, how many checkers does each player start a game of backgammon with? It is 15. General Knowledge Part 2, number 1. In which game did Super Mario make his first appearance? It was Donkey Kong. Number 2, Clickety Click represents which number in bingo calls? All the 6s, 66. Number 3, one of the longest running regattas, Cows Week, takes place around which island? It's the Isle of Wight. Number 4, what appeared in the Times newspaper in 1930, which still appears in the paper today? It is crossword. Number 5, the art or love of toxophilia is related to which sport pastime? It is archery. Number 6, which sport has a playing area of 60 foot long and just 41.5 inches wide? It is 10-pin bowling. Number 7, Ascot, Epsom and Aintree are synonymous with which sport? It is horse racing. Number 8, if you had the penny black in your collection, what would you be collecting? It is stamps. Number 9, Greco-Roman and freestyle are types of which sport? It is wrestling. And finally, number 10, when it opened in 1994, the Pepsi Max Big One was the tallest and steepest what in the world? It is roller coaster. So there we go. That is all of your questions then for the ultimate quiz, Sport and Leisure. How have you got on? If you head back to this morning's announcement post on Facebook and Instagram, whereby I gave you the link basically for tonight's quiz. If you head back over to my social medias and share your score and let me know how you got on with your Sport and Leisure ultimate quiz. So that is 3 down. 3 quizzes done. There's another 2 ultimate quizzes still to come this week. I'm not going to tell you what they are just, well, in fact, you already know Sundays is the ultimate quiz connections round. So that'll be on Sunday night, but I'm not going to tell you what Fridays is. Ultimate quizzing, it takes a breather because tomorrow night, Thursday night, I'm back live as always with another 50 question quiz for you live on YouTube from 8 p.m. So yeah, I'll be back with you tomorrow night. Normal service resumed, maybe? I don't know. Depends on how well you're enjoying the ultimate quizzes, I suppose. Anyway, that is it from me then for this evening. I will then see you very, very soon. as always for me. Let me know how you got on, and I'll see you soon. Take care and stay safe.